Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you had a good week in the market. It's Friday, October 24th. We're going to review the 0-day options I took on SPY on the small account challenge. I've got Emperor's chart pulled up here. It's a Friday. It's a gap up day. We had CPLI this morning. Here's Eric's 30-minute chart. Link for his Discord in the description. Yeah, big gap up from CPLI. All-time highs, top of the daily Bollinger. Lots of reasons why it's a gap trap. So we have Friday, which are usually pretty trappy. We have a gap up. Gaps are traps oftentimes. We have all-time highs, which oftentimes just wants to build liquidity. We have top of the daily Bollinger, where it just kind of grinds. So all signs point to losing money unless you're trading it in a certain way with certain tools. Selling premium, spreads, futures, just trading lighter. Yeah, not being greedy like most days. You don't want to be greedy, but tight range, yeah, all the stuff that you got to be very careful with. So I guess lowering expectations for all those reasons mentioned. Here's Emperor's trades. I am still a little sick, and so I have kind of a headache today, unfortunately. And I actually slept the morning. I slept until like 10:30. Took a nap. Took a nap from like 9:30 to 10:30, and woke up in here. I only took trades on the small account today, actually. Now the small account has a little more funds, even though I'm not really trading with them technically. But we'll see. Actually, maybe I did. Maybe I did. It was at like 65 bucks, I think. And today I think I only opened 3 trades, and I think it was about that dollar amount. Yeah, I didn't really want to trade anything in here. I completed the cup here, and I didn't complete the inverse cup, so I considered going long on the break of this steeper precision selling green channel. I didn't. Yeah, I didn't. I don't know. However, I did get puts. Where did I get puts? Let me see here. Yeah, I had one trade. It was right here. This one was realistically I should have been trying to find longs, just because we had completed cup, failed to complete the inverse cup. I don't know why I just decided to go short here. Oh well, one reason is because actually Emperor was drawing. He's drawing a shoulder and a head and a shoulder, and that's the problem. I don't want to have a bias because of what he's drawing, but yeah, I knew this was liquidity up here, and completing a cup would be bullish, and if it didn't want to, if it wanted to just wedge, it would reject that. So that's the main thing that really gave me inclination to get puts up here, because this orange line didn't mean anything to me at that point. This pink line wasn't there. This yellow, maybe it was there. The yellow might have been there at that point. So this was a retracement trade, a zoomy trade, whatever. It's on me. One contract at 10:47, so I got it a little bit before Emperor. He waited for that orange channel to break, which yeah, that was there, but since it broke out of it this way, I don't know. I don't quite trust him, I guess. So yeah, I got it on this green candle. So big engulfing red candle was a nice clue. I wanted to wait for better entries. I put a limit order, filled on this green one, and my stop was basically going to be up here, breaking yellow, but definitely up here in this area. So complete the cup basically. Thankfully it didn't. It worked out, and it came down, and I guess I could have gotten on a break of this orange. But yeah. So held this one. It's a pretty easy one to hold. In hindsight, it looks easy. It didn't feel very easy because the range is tight today. It was just not really moving. So, but yeah, then it did start moving a bit. I wanted it to VWAP, and I'm like, it's hardly moved. I'm like, okay, maybe magenta here. So on this green candle, I actually closed it. So green candle touched it, I closed it. Didn't get a great fill. I closed it about like break even right there. Break even candle, not break even on the trade. It was 46 cents to 61, so I think that's like almost 30%, which I'm happy with. So that was $46 in. So realistically, yeah, I went a little bit over my. I went over by like $10 on technically what my account size should be. It's bigger because I just got these SEV shares that I'm selling. And so now I have more buying power. So yeah, I gotta figure out what to do with that. So yeah, had that trade. I was happy about it. I didn't feel good. I had a headache, and I kind of just let it go. This trade potentially break a pink could have taken. Structure's not great. It's a tight range. I mean, you've got it. Yeah. I guess orange could be your stop. I don't know. I left it alone. Yeah, I didn't trade till 334. So sat out this whole time, just grinding around. I guess I was waiting just for more structure. To either way. Looks like Emperor took one here. So this was a nice break on magenta and then a retrace, retest, confirming that this is resistance and this was the bears building liquidity. But yeah, I wasn't, I don't know if I wasn't aware for that one, but I did consider this one though. Well, actually this one I missed. What was I doing? I think I was just stepped away or something. What time is that at? 12:45. Yeah, I can't remember, but I remember coming back and I wasn't prepared for this. Or I wanted to test all the way on the VWAP. I like the idea of the VWAP test. Cup's been completed. We've got another cup here. Yeah, we're still bullish. Bottom of magenta. So nice risk to reward as well as VWAP. I didn't get calls there though. Yeah, also a retest on this orange. Always nice to look at it once the market's closed. It's like, oh yeah, all of those reasons. In the moment, a little more tricky. Break of this blue, could have gotten it there. Yeah, I can't remember quite what was going on then. I have a nice little inverse head and shoulder here too. A little shoulder liquidity. But yeah, I lacked continuation. So another small trade here, potentially. This one I like better than this one. Ooh, I remember seeing this one. So I almost took this one. I just didn't like how tight of a range it was. Once it broke gold and started testing here, I thought about getting calls. I'm like, I want a better setup. So I was being more picky today, I guess, because I was just trading with a small account, which is good. I need to have that mindset with any account I'm trading. Even though this, I guess, would have been a fine trade. Just kind of a tight risk to reward, I guess. I was thinking it would probably make a bigger handle since this was the cup, but you never know. And sure enough, it didn't. And lack of a handle could also signify lack of continuation, which is exactly what happened. If it dug deep to build a handle, then potentially you'd have a bigger move to the upside. But since it didn't, the upside's so shallow and finding resistance here on blue. So yeah, didn't trade any of that. Where's the next one? So one green trade and then had it out of the money. Problem with the options at the end of the day, sometimes, depending on the strike, it's either like too cheap or too expensive. So I decided to go with the really cheap ones just to get one. And I waited for this one for a while, actually. Let's see. 334. What was that? A call, 334. Yeah, I was waiting for it. Because it broke the yellow, came down, kind of retested it. I guess it's breaking through, but completed this cup again. And so I got calls right here on this candle. This was on the retest. So cup, handle, retest on the gold, and here's this retest here. I guess because I saw this trade and I was kind of upset with myself for not taking it after seeing this candle when it looked like it was retesting gold. This was a very small trade, but once it did that, I was waiting for it to retest it again, basically. So that's why I got calls here. They were cheap. 7 cents closed out at 5 cents. It's crazy actually how quickly that lost value because it was just hanging around 7 to 9 cents for a long time. Next minute it flushed down and I closed it. And then I'm like, okay, well, I had the inflection point right because that was the inflection on it going down. I guess breaking back into gold. Came down, broke blue. Yeah, this is what actually happened. So broke blue. I'm like, all right, I want puts just for a little move down to VWAP for end of day. So it broke here. Then we get on this candle. Was it that candle? I was looking for a little retrace, which you don't always get, especially in the end. Let's see, 42. Yeah, it wasn't that candle. So this little green candle gave me a little retrace, nothing crazy. I got it here. This contract went up quite a bit to there, of course, because it's end of day. I think it was at like 43, so probably 20 something % or so. I can. Oh, I didn't have his other one in there now. I considered closing it just because of yellow here. But I thought, no, this is probably gonna go to VWAP. The problem was the time of day. So it was 3:44. So it wasn't a very far move to make for the amount of time it had. So that was another problem with, if this was in the last 10 minutes, then sure, I would have more conviction that it would just go down quickly. Or if it was earlier, like maybe 3:30, then I'm thinking it's going to go here and keep going maybe. Yeah, so anyways, I got in here and I didn't close there and I'm like, oh, okay, so part of the problem was I had to get it in the money. So it was one strike in the money, so the option cost 33 cents. And this late in the day to get an option that in the money is fine, but I wanted something cheaper. And since my profit on the day was only like $15, I guess. Yeah, about $15. I just was like, I wasn't super enthusiastic about having a 15-minute option that was $33. If it was like $10, then yeah, maybe I would have just held it till close and been happy as a lotto. Problem was with the next contract down was it was $7, just wasn't quite expensive enough. The delta was just a little too low, and I looked at it at end of day and I think it stayed $7 like throughout this whole drop. I don't remember which strike it was. I guess it was 676 maybe 677. No, it must have been 676. So I chose the right strike, but my thought process was it made it challenging because I didn't have much profits on the day. So anyways, all that to be said, I came down here, gave me a big fat green candle. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, I'm gonna hold it. Blue's my stop. It can do this end of day. And then the green candle closed over the blue. I'm like, oh gosh. And then this candle started ripping and I just closed it. So it ended up being a red trade, which sucks because this actually went to 70 something cents. I most likely would have closed it at VWAP, which even there was like 50 or 60 cents. So it would have been another 20 or 30% green trade, which would have made out of my 3 trades, 2 green, 1 red, and it would have put me up pretty good on the account. But 2 red, 1 green, and yeah, it's just that end of day. So that's why you scale down end of day. You kind of treat end of days as lottos, maybe small enough size where you can just hold it, not get stopped out. Yeah, this is pretty choppy, grindy way down, so I'm not like too bummed about it. It does kind of suck, but yeah, this was just you can't look at the value of the contract or your P&L or anything. And I usually don't, and I don't. Maybe I was looking at the yeah, because I think I checked when it was down here. Yeah, and that's because the contract pricing was more expensive than I wanted. I didn't want such an expensive one. So for all those reasons, it was kind of challenging, and it made me stop out when maybe I would have just been a little more patient and held through that candle, and then potentially I would have closed it here. Hard to know. I mean, this is just choppy. But yeah, it did end up coming to VWAP, and then down here, it was at like 90 something cents actually after hours. I don't know where that thing ended at, but I'm not sure on E-Trade if I can close SPY contracts after hours. I think you can on some brokerages, like 15 minutes after close. You can still trade them. It was still moving, so maybe I can. The price is still moving after close, but actually tiny bit green today. Yeah, $3. This isn't realized on SEV. This is just what moved today. So I didn't sell any on SEV today. I'm good for now. Yeah, so that's Friday. Tight range 78, like 3 points. That is very tight, but there's still moves. I mean, there's even moves I missed. Like I could have caught this one on the support. This one I didn't like very much. I could have caught it down here. So 1, 2. This I'm not as comfortable with. I'm trying to get better at these, like Emperor. This one I could have. So yeah, there actually were a lot of trades. If I was feeling better, maybe I probably would have been over trading, but maybe I would have actually caught these. This one over here, I don't think I could have had an earlier entry. The only thing I could have done potentially was even be more patient and gotten it on this candle or this candle. But I don't know if I would have had the same conviction since it had already kind of bounced off a yellow. They wouldn't have thought it would come all the way down. I'm not sure. It was kind of a tricky end today. Yeah. Anyways, that's what I got. Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy my 6th round. We'll see you guys on Monday. Have a good weekend. Take it easy. Peace out.